Hi, this is Kamera. My first few minutes with God, day number 240, Ezekiel chapter 5 through chapter 8. God tells Ezekiel to take this sharp sword, shave the hair off his head, shave off his beard, and with those hairs, divide it into three different parts. And he gives them instructions on what to do with those three parts. Then he tells him, this is what God says. He will pursue Jerusalem with a drawn sword. Fire will spread from there to all Israel. God points out that Jerusalem, in their wickedness, has rebelled against him and all of his laws and decrees. They made them worse. They made themselves worse than the nations and the countries around them. God says he is against Jerusalem and he will inflict punishment on them in the sight of those nations. He will do to Jerusalem something he's never done before and he never will do again. Parents will be eating their children, children will be eating their parents. And he says he will have no pity on them. No pity from him, he says. God says he will destroy with famine, disease, and sword. God tells Ezekiel to prophesy against the mountains of Israel. Face the mountains of Israel and prophesy, Ezekiel. So to the mountains, the hills, the ravines, and the valley, God is bringing a sword against them. He's slaying high places, altars and of incense and all these altars, people who are in front of these idols. He's slaying, and he's slaying hard. He's coming through. God says he will spare some of them he will spare, and they will be carried away into captivity. They will remember him and they will loathe themselves for the evil they had been doing. God says the end has come upon four corners of this land. The end is now upon you. He says, I will unleash my anger against you. He says, I will judge you according to your conduct. No pity. I will give you no pity. Doom will come upon you. None of the people will be left. No crowds, no wealth, no value at all. The day has arrived. Those in the country, he says, would die by the sword. Those in the city by plague and famine. Their silver and gold will not be able to save them. God says, I will judge them according to their conduct by their own standards. Now get this. You have Ezekiel in his home with some elders of Judah and Jerusalem. He takes Ezekiel in the spirit and he takes him and to the temple of the Lord. Isn't that something? He points out all the evil that's taking place in the temple of the Lord. His place, God's temple, his holy place. And at the entrance of the north gate, there's an idol. There's an idol. It provokes God's jealousy right at the entrance. There's a hidden doorway that leads to devastation, detestable sins that they're committing. The walls are covered with engravings of crawling animals and detestable creatures, various idols. And people are worshiping those idols. These are people of Israel. He shows Ezekiel these 70 elders with incense burners. They're holding an incense burner. They're burning incense to these idols. Isn't that something? They're thinking that God doesn't see them. God doesn't see them. He's not there amongst them. Isn't that something? The women are weeping to the idols, this idol, or for this idol. Men are bowing down to the sun as an idol. God says, I will neither pity or spare them. He says, I will not listen to their cries for mercy. This is serious. God is pointing out what's going on in his holy place. Oh, it's deep. Anyway, guys, that's day number 240, Ezekiel chapter 5 through chapter 8. You have a God-filled blessed day.